let's talk about Singapore. The tiny red dot that decided being tiny was boring and instead became a global heavyweight. This is a city-state that somehow manages to be shiny and polished, like a sci-fi utopia, while also being sweaty, chaotic, and obsessed with food, to the point where eating is basically a national sport. Singapore is the kind of place where you can order a $3.70 Michelin-approved meal at a hawker center, and then, 10 minutes later, blow your entire paycheck at a rooftop bar with skyline views so good you'll forgive your bank account. Now, Singapore is often presented as clean, safe, and convenient. And yeah, that's true. But what makes it interesting isn't just its orderliness, it's the contrasts. Buddhist temples next to skyscrapers, Hindu rituals unfolding a block away from luxury malls, markets selling incense and knockoff sneakers while Formula One cars scream through the streets once a year. It's not just a city, it's like 10 different worlds mashed together into 300 square miles. And if you're here in your 20s or 30s, you're probably not looking to hang out at the places where every cruise ship tour bus unloads. You want the hidden corners, the taste it or regret it food stalls, the bars with doors disguised as vending machines, and maybe a boutique hotel that feels like a secret clubhouse. That's what this guide is about. Before we dive in, quick pause. If you like this mix of practical intel with slightly too honest commentary, hit that like button and subscribe. It actually helps a lot. And all the recommendations I talk about today, yes, the food stalls, yes, the bars, yes, the hotels, are listed down in the video description so you can just copy-paste them into your own travel plan instead of frantically pausing to jot things down. So let's break this city down into 3 categories: what to see and do, where to eat and drink, and where to sleep it all off. First up, what to see and do. Singapore loves a spectacle, but it also loves a quiet weirdness, and you'll want a little bit of both. One place that hits different is Haw Par Villa. Imagine stepping into a dreamscape where someone spiked your Tiger Balm with LSD, because that's basically what this park feels like. Built in the 1930s by the brothers behind Tiger Balm, it's a labyrinth of statues and dioramas that veer between morality play, grotesque horror, and unintentional comedy. You'll walk past a statue of Confucius, looking all serene, then turn a corner and bam! There's a scene of someone getting sawed in half as punishment in the afterlife. It's kitsch, creepy, and oddly educational. The whole place radiates that grandparent told me a bedtime story and it ruined my sleep forever vibe. But there's also something charming about how earnestly it's all put together. It's messy, it's surreal, and it's exactly the kind of thing that reminds you travel isn't about pristine postcards. It's about being slightly unsettled and very entertained. And speaking of unsettling, let's slide underground to the Battlebox. Hidden beneath the greenery of Fort Canning Park, this World War II-era bunker feels like time travel gone wrong. The corridors are narrow, the air is still, and wax figures of military officers freeze in mid-argument as though they've been trapped in a bad loop of history. The British command surrendered Singapore here in 1942, and you can feel that heaviness pressing in on the walls. It's eerie in a different way than Haw Par Villa. More solemn, more claustrophobic, like the ghosts of bad strategy still linger. But then you climb back out into Fort Canning Park, where banyan trees drape their roots like curtains and joggers zip past with Bluetooth earbuds, and suddenly you're reminded that this city has a way of blending shadows of history into its polished present. Not everything historical is heavy, though. Sometimes it's just dazzling. The Sri Mariamman Temple, Singapore's oldest Hindu temple, looks like someone set out to make the most colorful cake in the world and then decided to climb it like architecture. The Gopuram, the tower at the entrance, is stacked with intricate statues of gods, warriors, and mythical beasts, all painted in colors so bright you'll wonder if your sunglasses are defective. Step inside and you'll smell incense curling into the air, hear bells ringing, and feel the energy shift from the chaos of the city outside to something more measured, more sacred. It's not a museum. It's alive with prayer and ritual, so walk softly and observe with respect. A few streets away, the Buddha Tooth Relic Temple stands like a Tang Dynasty fantasy teleported into Chinatown. Red columns, golden roofs, lanterns swinging in the breeze. It's theatrical and calming at the same time. Inside, monks chant in low, hypnotic tones, while tourists crane their necks at the elaborate interiors. Whether or not you care about relics, yes, there's a canine tooth said to belong to Buddha, you can't help but feel the weight of centuries of devotion here. It's the kind of place that makes you quiet without asking. And then there's Srinivasa Perumal Temple in Little India. It's older, less flashy, but somehow more grounding. Built in the mid-19th century, it has that weathered elegance of a place that's been prayed in for generations. During festival times, the energy around it crackles. Garlands of marigolds, drumming in the distance. The smell of curry leaves wafting from nearby food stalls. It's like the neighborhood itself leans into the temple, wrapping it in life. But Singapore isn't just temples and heavy history. This city also wants you to tilt your head back and say, wait, am I in the future now? That's where the ArtScience Museum comes in. The building is a lotus-shaped spaceship docked on the edge of Marina Bay. And inside are exhibitions that make you feel like you're walking through someone's imagination made digital. You can step into mirrored rooms where infinite lights blink around you, or VR installations that mess with your sense of space and self. It's art, sure, but it's also play. Technology used to remind you of wonder instead of notifications. And since you're already at Marina Bay, climb up to the SkyPark observation deck at Marina Bay Sands. It's one of those, yes, it's touristy, but you have to spots. From the 56th floor, the skyline spreads out like a neon circuit board. Cargo ships blink in the distance on the water. The gardens by the bay domes glow like alien cocoons. And the city hums below like it's flexing. If you're there around sunset, the light shifts from gold to indigo, and suddenly you understand why this place gets plastered on postcards. It really is that good. But here's the thing. Singapore doesn't just live in the sky. It also has lungs, and those lungs are green. Head to McRitchie Reservoir Park, where the city dissolves into rainforest. The air feels different here. Wet, heavy, buzzing with insects you can't quite see. Trails wind under towering trees, and every so often a rustle makes you spin around, half hoping it's something exotic, half fearing it's a monkey plotting a snack heist. The treetop walk is the highlight, a suspension bridge stretched between two hills, dangling you above a sea of green. Look down, and it's vines, ferns, and shadowy movement. Look up, and it's just endless canopy. It's the kind of view that makes you forget you're minutes away from one of the world's densest cities. The trick here is balance. Let the rainforest swallow you for a couple hours, then re-emerge into the air-conditioned chaos of the city. It's like pressing reset on your brain. That's the thing about Singapore's sites. They're layered. They're not just, here's a temple, here's a park. They're juxtapositions. Mythology staged like a carnival, bunkers haunted by history under picnic lawns, skyscrapers rubbing shoulders with prayer rituals, wild rainforest right next to an MRT stop. It's a city that insists on being both futuristic and rooted, eerie and elegant, shiny and sweaty. And when you wander between these spaces, you start to feel it. The pulse that isn't in the guidebooks but is very much in the streets, in the incense smoke, in the roar of cicadas in the forest, in the neon glow bouncing off glass towers at midnight. Now let's talk about the reason most people actually come here. Food. Singapore is obsessed with food the way some countries are obsessed with sports or politics. And it's not about fancy plating, it's about flavor and variety. The hawker centers are the holy grail. If you want to taste a dish that Gordon Ramsay and Anthony Bourdain both swore by, head to Tien Tien Hainanese Chicken Rice in Maxwell Food Center. It's literally just chicken and rice, but it's also somehow a national treasure. The rice is oily in the best possible way, and the chicken is so soft it's almost like butter. Speaking of Maxwell Food Center, don't just queue at Tien Tien, try Maxwell Fuzhou oyster cake too. It's this crispy, deep-fried pocket with oysters hidden inside, kind of like Singapore's answer to a secret-level snack. Over in Chinatown Complex, I love starting my day with kaya toast and kopi, basically butter, coconut jam, and strong coffee that tastes like it could power a car engine. Jicheng Cafe stall does it perfectly. Or if you're more of a spicy breakfast person, hit Baidok Chui Kue for rice cakes topped with pickled radish and chili. If you want to level up to something more communal, go Peranakan. The Blue Ginger has dishes like Ngo Hyang, fried rolls stuffed with pork and chestnuts that you share family style, or Wild Cocoa, which does an upgraded nasi lemak. Coconut rice, sambal, fried chicken, so good it deserves its own fan club. Of course, you can't leave Singapore without chili crab. Everyone argues about who makes it best, but Melbourne's signature is one of the heavyweights. The sauce is messy, spicy, and sweet at the same time. Don't wear white, don't try to look elegant, just go in with your hands and embrace the chaos. And because no trip is complete without at least one night out, Singapore's bar scene is ridiculous. Mama Diem is disguised as a little provision shop, but leads to a hidden speakeasy with cocktails based on local flavors. Think whiskey with chai tea, or drinks named after nasi lemak. Nighthawk takes its mood from the Edward Hopper painting, with dim lights, killer music, and cocktails like the sleepy saunter that taste like a vacation in a glass. If you're more into rooftops, the Cooling Tower has the skyline views while Enclave Bar mixes Thai-style drinks with live music. And yes, Jigger and Pony still pulls in the awards and the crowds. Order a cocktail menu just to flip through it like a glossy magazine. Now, where do you sleep? If you want the full old-world fantasy, Raffles Hotel is the Grand Dame. It's where the Singapore sling was invented, and it's the kind of place where you half expect someone in a white linen suit to offer you a novel manuscript. The suites aren't cheap, but they're iconic. For something more boutique and atmospheric, the Scarlet Singapore in Tanjong Pagar is all red walls, gothic touches, and just the right amount of drama. You can stumble out the door straight into a hawker's center, which is exactly how a hotel should be situated. And if you're on a tighter budget, capsule hotels like Galaxy Pods are a lifesaver. Think futuristic sleeping pods with neon lighting, privacy screens, and just enough space to crash before heading back out. They're in Chinatown and Boat Quay, so you're close to the action without paying skyscraper prices. Singapore might be small, but it's dense with experiences. The city doesn't hit you with one big wow moment. It just keeps throwing little surprises at you. A mural tucked into a back alley, a perfectly grilled sauté skewer at midnight, a shop selling prayer incense next to a sneaker boutique. It's a place where everything feels intentional, but also where the best moments sneak up on you when you're just wandering. So if you're planning a trip here, mix the polished stuff with the weird, the temples with the bars, the hawker stalls with the museums. That's when Singapore feels alive. Not just another city stopover, but a world you'll want to keep peeling back layer by layer. And don't forget, all the spots I mentioned are listed in the description below. That way, you can add whichever ones call your name straight into your itinerary. Hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which place you'd want to try first. The haunted Tiger Balm part, the chili crab, or that rooftop bar with a view. Because Singapore might be small, but trust me, it's anything but boring.